It's Loop, and I'm live, and I found it. This videotape right here has something so important on it. It's going to change the way that we think. It's going to change the world as we know it, and it's going to change podcasting and media forever. I'm putting the VHS into the machine, and when I press play, we're going to see something that's going to blow our minds. Here we go.
Hey Lou, it's Larry Headroom. You know what they say, podcast buddies are like super glue. We're stuck together until we're medically separated.
What the serious fuck?
In a world filled with intergalactic space battles, metahuman destruction on a global scale, and psychopathic serial hauntings, there's only one team who can make sense of it all. When your world is overrun with rampant pop culture, call Loop and Larry, Guardians of Geek.
We are almost at 90. Almost. That was almost our 90th explosion, but instead it's our 89th explosion.
We are here. Hey, everybody, I'm Loop.
And I'm Larry.
And this is Guardians of Geek. We are back with an all-new episode. I didn't realize how hard it was to record during the summer. Like,
yeah, we've never done it before.
No, it's the first time. And it's just, we're busy. It's like, I'm surprised how busy the summer is, even with vacations and everything else. But that's the problem. You're never home.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Like because we were delayed during the year, so we thought, okay, well, we'll try to squeeze in a couple more in the summer to finish off this season. And then now we've squeezed one in.
Yeah, we got another one in now. I think we'll have a couple more, and then this season will end. But we have this one, and then our Star Wars ranking episode, which we had put on social, so which is going to be a fun one. But this is awesome to be back together again. Yes. You just came back from like a 2-week vacation, like over to the UK.
Yeah, it was a cruise around the British Isles. So we did England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Belgium, and Denmark.
Well, that's awesome. That's a lot of stuff.
But so I won't go into huge detail. But of course, because I am who I am and we are who we are, Guardians of Geek, I had to do geeky things. So when we went to Belfast, Ireland, we could have taken tours of the history of Ireland. We were right near the dock where they built the Titanic. We could have gone there.
Oh, there's lots of things to do. Yeah. What would you have done other than that?
Yeah. Well, in fact, I booked a tour of the filming locations of Game of Thrones. because
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Fortunately, my wife loves Game of Thrones too. So between the two of us, we're like, when are we going to come and see, when are we going to see these filming locations again? So, so we spent a whole day. We saw where they shot Pike, the Greyjoy's castle. Yeah. We went to that castle. We went to an area where Arya, I don't know if you remember the scene. I think it was in season 2. Or no, it was much later than that. Arya gets stabbed and she crawls out of the water in Bravos and she crawls up some stairs. We found those stairs, and I reenacted that whole scene. We could probably post some photos on socials for you. Did that. We also walked down in season 1, right after. I'm spoiling the show, but by this time, if you haven't seen it, then
that's on you.
End of season 1, when Ned gets his head cut off when he's executed, and Arya sees that and has to flee for her life and becomes looks like a boy, and she gets on a caravan and is traveling. She travels down the King's Road, which is this dirt road that's surrounded by these weird creepy trees. We went there. We went to the spot where they shot that and saw the creepy trees. So it was I had to geek out. I had to do my geeky bit of geekiness even when we're on the other side of the pond.
I love that. I love that you're just able to slip that in there, because that sounds really cool, to be honest. Like, how many times do you get to go to those castles and see those like real life sets, essentially? That is very, very cool. Yeah. Speaking of geeking out, I think it's about time we do Top Pop.
Oh, all right.
Hey kids, it's time for Loop and Larry's Totally Tubular Top
All right, this is Top Pop, where we look at pretty much anything geeky that's like we're geeking out about, whether it's something new or something old or whatever, rediscovery. Basically, right off the top, I'm gonna just mention I saw Fantastic Four.
Yep.
It's the summer of superhero movies. We got like Fantastic Four, and got Superman,
Yep.
two sort of major like tent poles of both Marvel and DC.
Yep.
I love Fantastic Four. I was like totally geeked out on it.
Yep. I agree. I saw it too. This might be in my top like three Marvel movies.
Oh
I
wow, okay.
I loved every bit of it. I thought the casting was perfect. I thought the music was perfect. I thought the story was so heartfelt. They finally told the story from a family perspective,
Yeah.
which is what the Fantastic Four is all about, is his family. And I just thought I was so into it. I just thought it was just fantastic. It was the first movie I've seen in Marvel movie I've seen in a long time that made me feel the same way I felt coming out of like the original Iron Man and like Captain America, like that era of Marvel. That's what this
Yeah.
felt like.
I just think there's a lot of things they did right in it. And number one, separating it in a different world
Mhm.
for the time being from all the other Marvel stuff. So it wasn't bogged down with all the history of Marvel and the snap from Thanos and all that didn't need to be explained because it
Yep.
was its own thing. The
Yep.
second thing they did right, like that I think is that they didn't go through the whole origin story again. A lot of that, and it just had a much better feel, and the thing was
Mm.
properly done in this movie.
Yes.
Like this is the most comic accurate thing I've seen yet. I know the original ones were hard because they just didn't have the special effects in order to do that.
Yeah.
But now they do, and they did a great job with it. I thought and the first time we've ever seen Galactus too, which was
Yes.
like it was awesome. Like it was
Yeah.
so cool to see him on screen. Because then one in the Rise of the Silver Surfer movie, he was just some clouds. He was like a bad storm essentially.
Yeah.
They didn't like do him at all. So this was very, very cool. So I've heard some people say they thought it was kind of boring, but like I don't know. I thought it was like a good story without having all the extras and the look of this movie too, with the sort of 60s futuristic sort of look, I thought was
Yes.
really, really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I love that it was, I mean, obviously it's not a standalone movie because they're coming back in Doomsday. But it's almost like they rebooted the Marvel universe. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like they've restarted it, and then they're gonna go from here because this one felt like like a fresh start to me.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I just thought they did such a fantastic job with it.
And on top of that, from our last podcast, the original cast of the 1994 movie were in this movie as cameos.
Were they?
I didn't see them. Right, I'm gonna rewatch it again.
Yeah.
Apparently, two of them were reporters, and then the
Ah,
other two were in a scene where they were like construction workers or something. But it was
ah,
so fast I didn't notice. But they were all four of them were not only at the premiere, they were like in the movie.
oh,
They brought them back to be in it, like just even
that's
as just a
awesome.
cameo. I thought that was
That's
very
awesome.
cool because
Really cool because
they acknowledge the fact that this movie has been seen, it's out there, and these people had got nothing for it. Like
yes.
so,
Yeah, I think that's awesome, especially after covering that in our last podcast and watching the documentary and seeing how much work they put into it.
yeah.
That's awesome. I totally missed the fact that they were going to be in this movie. I would have looked a
I only
little hard.
found out like after the fact, so I didn't
Uh,
really like know that they were in it, and then I kind of saw where they were, but I got to go back and rewatch it again,
yes.
I'll get the projectionist to like pause it at those spots to see. No one else in the theater will notice, no, but
Oh,
I'll know. So it's,
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, totally. Big thumbs up from me. I thought it was great.
I was catching up on basically
Oh, great.
everything, like because of course my first 4 months of the year, 5 months was all me moving and all that kind of stuff. So I've been catching up on all TV and everything else. So the latest movie I saw, which I think we're going to disagree on, is Naked Gun, which just
Yes.
came out well, as of this recording. It just came out last weekend.
Yes. Yeah.
So
It's fresh, brand new.
it is fresh, all right. It is
Yeah.
fresh. So I feel like were a fan of it, and I'll tell you what I thought of it.
Okay, I was well, no, I shouldn't say that. I wasn't super excited to go in to see this. I had trepidation from the very beginning. And I think we talked about this in one of our early podcasts when the first trailer came out. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, this is such an iconic franchise with, yeah, I mean, Naked Gun and Police Squad, the TV show, and then all of the other Zucker and Proft, like the airplane and or
Top
airplane,
Secret,
yeah,
and
airplane,
yeah.
Top Secret. And I was like, I don't know. This is touch and go for me. So I wasn't 100% on it when I went into it. But I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. The critics are raving, people seem to love it. It's bound to be good. I did not connect with this movie at all.
Oh,
Like
really?
I
Okay.
literally in the hour and a half that it was, I think I giggled twice. Like I didn't even like there
Wow.
were no laughs. I literally giggled two times, and the rest of it I just didn't find funny. And but here's I thought about it afterwards. Here's why I think it didn't work for me, because part of what made the original Police Squad stuff so funny was the low budget. Everything looked like a set. Like, for example, that opening scene of Police Squad, when you have the police car and the light
Yeah.
driving through different things, like a car wash. It looked cheap. Like it looked, you could tell it was cheap.
Yeah, they
Like
did that during the credits of this movie.
and they put it in the credits. You could see that. But everything looked kind of cheap, and they knew that they weren't working with big budgets. They were, and to me that added some of the charm to those early movies, is that they were not super slick. Like they weren't slick. This one felt like a cop movie, like a modern cop movie. It was very slick. It was very, Hollywood. And for me it didn't feel like Police Squad. It didn't feel like The Naked Gun. It didn't feel like that, because it felt like a modern cop movie that was making these sort of spoofy jokes, but the setting didn't match what they were doing. And then a couple of times there were some dramatic moments that threw me off. It wasn't constant. Anyway, so it didn't, to me, it didn't have the same feel as the original. So it kind of fell flat. But what did you think?
I thought it was the funniest movie I've ever seen. No, I'm joking. No, I enjoyed it. I laughed out loud a few times. I enjoyed. There's some good laughs in it. But I said to Jen after, I said, "There's just something not quite there," and I didn't know what it was. That like, part of it to me is it was very dark. Like it was
Yes.
lit darkly,
Yes.
to be
Yes.
kind of like. But I think in doing that, some of the fun of it kind of goes away, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
whereas if you watch the old ones, everything was very bright and very
Yeah.
like well lit, unless they were doing something for style purposes.
Right.
And I just thought there was a few things in it, like there was a cameo in it. We can spoil it because if you haven't seen it yet, then it's not, no one's gonna remember this anyways. There was a part with Priscilla Presley where there was like a quick cutaway cameo, but it was so quick almost didn't even see it. Like it
Yeah.
was.
It was
I
such a
thought
wasted cameo.
I can't remember who directed it. It was one of the Lonely Island guys directed it. So I like
Akiva
who
Schaffer.
know comedy. I mean, they do all those Lonely Island stuff like
Yeah.
the
Well,
and
it
it
was
just
all like it was Akiva Schaffer directed, but Seth MacFarlane was a producer. Like it had a good pedigree. Like all of these people know comedy. But yes, I totally agree with you. You're saying that it was dark, and it shouldn't be dark. Like this is goofy. Like the whole thing is supposed to be goofy and funny, but when it was dark, it felt brooding, and I was like,
yeah, the
oh,
lighting I think took it down. Like they kind of sucked some of the comedy out of it. And I know what
yeah,
they were doing. The opening was fine because the opening was supposed to look like a big action movie
yes,
opening. And
yeah,
so that worked for that. But after that, it just seemed sometimes it just seemed too dark.
yeah,
But I thought Liam Neeson was excellent, to be honest. Like it's funnier when there's a serious actor doing the comedy as opposed to
yeah,
someone that like we always know is funny trying to
yeah,
be drubbing. Like he really like worked, and I like how they fit the whole story in with him being his son. And
yeah.
Pamela Anderson was great. I thought she was
She was,
funny.
yep,
Like
she was really good.
but and I had some funny stuff in it for sure. But just it was missing that one big laugh, if that
Yeah,
makes sense too. Like
yeah.
there was a couple points where like it was almost there, but again, it just wasn't quite like, so I don't know. But it just I enjoyed it. I gave it like it was like a 3 out of 5 for me. Like I enjoyed it enough. I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5.
Really? That's really high.
Yeah. I gave it the point. I gave it the 0.5 for doing a comedy and getting a comedy out there into the world of movies because comedies are almost dead now. So,
Yeah. Well,
I hope it does
it's
well
like,
enough that
yeah.
it's. I mean, it made 17 million or something, which doesn't sound like a lot, but
No.
it was only playing in like barely any theaters. Because
Yeah.
like all the other ones, Superman and Fantastic Four and all those took up half the theaters. Like
That's like I feel like I don't know if it opened at the right time because Fantastic Four and all of those ones are still running and they're gonna get a bigger audience. So I feel like if they had waited till like September maybe or done
September
it in
might have been a better
November.
time for it, to be honest. Like,
I think
but
it just when it wasn't quite so busy with big
yeah.
tentpole pictures. But I was just reading an article that and now I can't remember his name, Zucker, the director of the original, congratulated the team on making this thing, but essentially turned down the opportunity to be given a executive producer credit because he didn't like the direction that they were taking it. He essentially said, "This is not the movie I would make, so I'm stepping back. I don't want to put my name on it. I don't want to, but good for you guys. Like, congratulations. I'm glad you're doing well, blah, blah, blah." He also said he will never watch it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said he has no intention.
Sounds a little bit sour grapesish to me, but maybe he was never approached in the beginning to be part of it, like, or something.
He was apparently he was, but they had already written the script. But part of the problem was he has already written a script for Naked Gun Part 4 that he's pitched, and they apparently his script had to do with focusing on Frank Drebin's 30-year-old son. So not as old as Liam Neeson, but the same sort of idea. It was going to be Frank Drebin's son, but it got turned down or whatever. So he didn't make the movie that he wanted to make, and this is not what he wanted. So he's just been like, good for you, go ahead, but I will not be ever watching your garbage movie.
Okay, all right. Anyways, I recommend it. It was funny enough. Like, I mean, it was interesting and it made me laugh a few times. So I mean, what else? It's basically all the comedy needs to do. And it's a hard act to follow the Naked Gun movies and try to make something your own. And I think I mean, it could be set up for sequels for sure if it does well enough. So
I feel like it will be. Like, I feel like it's gotten good enough critical review and audience review that I'm sure that they'll make another one.
Yep.
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know. So what's been going on with you? Anything you want to mention?
Well, it's just been movie. But the one big thing I do want to announce here, and I have not told Loop this yet, but this is a big deal. On my trip, I read a book. An entire book, start to finish.
You mean with the pages and everything?
Look, it has words in it. It's a real book, and a lot of pages, and I read it.
So it wasn't like just a pamphlet, or
no,
it's like, okay, it's a full book.
This is a whole hardcover book.
Now I will put in perspective. Isn't that not like a short story they put into the form of a book?
Yeah, I mean, it's only 100 pages long, but still, it's a book.
That qualifies as a book. If it's on its own, it's a book.
Yep. It's bound in hardcover, so it is a book. It is a Stephen King book called
like
The Light
third clapping of this show already. So it's
Yep. Just putting that out there. Just
good
proof
work.
that Larry can read. Yep. So
I actually saw that book today. I was at a bookstore and I saw that book and I thought of you because I remember you mentioning you were going to get it or bought it, or I was like,
and not only did I get it, but I actually read it. Yeah. Pretty exciting.
You'd be surprised what's in books.
I know. There's like an actual story in there.
What kind of magical stories you'll find within the pages of a book.
I know, it's crazy. Also, I highly recommend the book. The book and the movie are equally as good.
And I saw that it's streaming right now, and I haven't watched it, but Jen and I are going to watch it, my wife. So that's we're all getting on that.
Good. Well, if you want to borrow the book, I've got it.
Perfect. Well, speaking of going to, I mentioned that I was at a bookstore today and buying things and all that, but we have a brand new segment.
Yeah.
And it's called What Did We Buy Now? Let's get into it.
Okay.
What did we buy now?
All right, this is a brand new segment called "What Did We Buy Now?" Because we're always talking about these things that we've purchased that we probably don't need. Actually, probably 100% of them we don't need, but sometimes you just got to buy them because you need them.
Right.
And so we were talking after you got back. I'll start with what I got, but when we came back, I saw that you said, "Oh, I have this weird package. It's a giant package waiting for you," and so I can't wait to see what that is. But I got a couple quick things that I'll just show you that I got. Number one is this. I don't know if I can get it there. There it is. This Cold Slither album.
Nope. What is that?
In 1985 on the show G.I. Joe, like the original 80s cartoon, there's an episode where Cobra Commander creates with the Dreadnoks this group called Cold Slither. And so they're like, so it's basically Zartan and his Dreadnoks with like wigs on, and they're these rock stars. But they create a song called Cold Slither that basically is like a Pied Piper situation where it puts kids in trances, and then they are able to do whatever they ask them to do. And then G.I. Joe, of course, figures it out, and it's like a whole thing. But it's a very popular episode of the show. And so Hasbro and a record company got together, and they created this called RPM, and they created this band called Cold Slither. So Cold Slither's on this, but it's a full, like, it's hard to see this on here, but there's a full track listing, and they're very heavy. Like, it's a very heavy album. It's actually not bad. Like, it's kind of fun.
Like,
it's brand new.
They put it together. Just put this band together.
Yeah, and they put it together, and they were at San Diego Comic-Con, and then I think they performed at it as well. Like, they're actual real people. So the real musicians are playing the four members, like Ripper, Buzzer, Torch, and Zartan of the group, and dressed like them and everything. And there's like songs like Welcome to the Swamp and Zartan's Revenge and Snakes on the Bayou. Like, it's a whole, and they're like very heavy. Like, it's like a heavy rock, like heavy metal album. And it's been featured in heavy metal magazines and stuff. Like, it's getting a fair amount of press, but you could pre-order it from their website. So I got that in a t-shirt. And
that's crazy.
I didn't need them, but it's kind of fun. Like, I think it's kind of so cool.
Fun. So. But like 40 years later, they decided, hey, let's revisit that one episode where we had.
Well, it's the anniversary of it, so they have they think they just cherry pick something that people remember, and it's very marketable because it was a band, and it was. But anyways, it was fun, and I was like, I gotta get this.
That is really cool.
Why did I buy this? I don't know.
Did you have to have it? Yes, you did.
Yes, I had to have it, and I have one other thing that I bought.
Yep.
And I think I 100% needed. Which is
that is so awesome. It is really cool.
The Galactus popcorn bucket.
Yeah, that is super cool. They had two left when I went to see the show, and I didn't buy it, but I got up close. I was like, this thing is actually awesome.
Yeah, it's where's it here? So it's got.
Do the eyes light up? Oh, they do.
Yeah, the eyes light up.
Oh.
So this thing is huge. Like, it's the size of a mask. Like, it's it's massive. When I saw it, because I'm such a Fantastic Four fan, I said I have to get this thing. So it cost around $70. Like, it was like 75 or something. I think it's the most expensive popcorn bucket they've ever put out. So anyways, I got it, and then I just had it just for fun. I decided I'll look on eBay to see how much they're running for in case people are selling them. $250 already on eBay, and they just came out. Like,
yes. Well, and I know that too, because I saw them sitting on the shelf. They only had two left. I didn't buy it, but then I was watching the movie, and I kept thinking about that. I kept thinking, you know what? Maybe after the movie's over, if it's still sitting there, maybe I should just get one, and then I can sell it on eBay. But nope, they were gone. But so I had to look. I looked up the eBay prices too. Yeah, they're going so fast. Like, they're going like for a lot of money.
Yeah, and then the weird part is too, I went, the theater I went to didn't have them at all. And so I was like, oh man, I'm gonna miss out on this. But then I know of another theater in town, which is Silver City, which did. Yeah. So I just went there, and you know how you have to like buy your ticket, then you can go into the popcorn area. I just asked the guy, can I go in and buy that bucket? And he goes, yeah, go ahead. So I walked in, bought it, walked out, like, just.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So I'm like, I don't know how many of these things I'll buy, but this one this one seemed like something I had to get. Like, it was just too cool.
It is actually super awesome. Like, I've seen a lot of the buckets, and a lot of them are just like cheesy and whatever. This one is, for fans of Fantastic Four, that is a really, really cool popcorn bucket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool. So, anyways, those are my two
Did you get
things.
popcorn with it?
No, because I just went in and bought it straight up and then
Oh.
walked out. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't need no popcorn. I just want the
No,
bucket.
I got my Galactus. That's all I need.
I don't want greasy butter all over my bucket.
No, that's awesome. I'm glad you got that because
Yeah, there you
that's
go.
super cool. All right, so I've only got one thing,
Okay.
but so this was a product that I ordered literally 2 years ago, almost. It was October
wow.
of 2023. I ordered it, pay for it. It was done almost 2 years ago, and I've been writing to the company several times saying, where is this thing? What's happening with it? And I keep getting emails back saying, oh well, we'll let you know when it arrives. Don't worry,
Oh
we'll
no.
we'll let you know. And then all of a sudden, on like 2 days ago, I get a knock at the door from FedEx, and it arrived. Are you ready to see this thing?
Yeah, I'm excited. Oh, wicked.
It's let's see if I can get, there we go. It's the Dial of Destiny Indiana Jones. Can you see his face? Like, this is the most realistic depiction.
Holy cow, that looks like the workmanship on that's like incredible.
Yeah, it's like the most
Like
realistic.
it's so lifelike.
Yeah, you can move his eyes independently. So I moved his eyes so they're sort of looking to the side. But if you can, like, the lighting that I have in here isn't great, but he actually has skin tone. Like, you can see the pores on his face. And the jacket that he's wearing is real leather.
Yeah.
The whip is real leather. His shoes are also real leather. Like real leather shoes.
Where'd you get that from?
This is a Hot Toys exclusive, or not? Well, I mean, it's made by Hot Toys. It was sold by Sideshow, Sideshow toys.
Yeah.
There, once I bought it through Sideshow, and this is the deluxe version, and it comes with this beautiful display platform where he's on a bridge, like a broken bridge, and it's got like rope and stuff. But
wow, that's really cool.
The bridge can be displayed one of two ways. The other way has the actual logo on it there. So, but I like it with just the front. But he's completely posable too. So I've put him in this pose. The flashlight that he's got in his hand works. Like, it actually has batteries. You can turn it on and off. I'm not going to turn it on because it's incredibly bright.
Yeah.
But it actually works. But yeah, so 2 years.
Wow.
Waiting for this thing, and it's finally here, and is like the greatest thing that was ever invented in the history.
That is very cool. I'm a little concerned that you ordered something from a place called Hot Toys, but I don't know what kind of toys they sell. But all right, well, whatever.
They make this sort of stuff.
Okay, don't Google that at home, kids.
Yeah, don't look
or in
that
the
up.
office.
But anyway, so yeah, this finally, after 2 years of waiting.
That is very cool. That's worth the wait. That is very cool.
I thought you would appreciate that. And apparently you can still buy it. So Loop, if you're interested, it is apparently still available. I just did the pre-order to make sure that I got the deluxe one, but apparently it's now out there in circulation. So
that's so cool.
You got to get in on that.
We need more of this segment. This is a great segment.
Oh, this is good. Yeah, well, we've now got a slick opener, so now it is an official.
Yeah, now it's an official segment now.
Yeah, so now we have to buy more stuff. Fortunately, Fan Expo's coming up, so
there's always something there for sure. Well, speaking of slick openers, let's go to Pop Capacitor.
All right.
All right, here we are, Pop Capacitor, and this is where we like look back at an old show or like a toy. We have done a toy, a horror movie, and we basically say, does it stand up now? And sometimes we haven't seen these things in like 40 years. Like, it just depends what it is. This one I've never seen. This is the first time I've seen it, though. We're going to be talking generally about something I do know about, which is Max Headroom. But what we're looking at specifically in this show is the kind of like, I guess, the origin story of Max Headroom, called 20 Minutes into the Future.
Yeah.
Which is like basically a TV movie. It came out in 1985. And I kind of started the whole Max Headroom craze. Like,
it did,
Though I
It
don't
was
remember. I don't think I've ever seen this. This is the first time I'd seen it.
Yeah, it was British production. It aired on Channel 4 in the UK. So it's entirely British production. Essentially, it was the pilot episode, like the pilot. So, but it was a made for TV movie that aired in Great Britain, and then eventually, I think it made it to the States. But it made it to the States as sort of episode one of the TV series, but they tweaked it a little bit. So yeah, so this is it's a sort of a standalone thing. This is sort of the VHS. I don't know if you can see it there.
Yep.
The VHS of it, which I bought years ago as a bootleg, and that's how I had heard of it. And you could tell because this is the disc that.
Oh yeah, that's classic. It's just like a DVD-R.
Yeah, with
like nothing on it. You might as well just
with somebody
written on in
hand wrote.
marker.
Yep. Yeah, it was good
How
quality.
Easily losable is that?
Oh,
Like,
very easily.
Zero
But,
effort put into the
nope.
disc itself.
Not at all. But anyway, so yeah, so I was familiar with this, so I had to talk Loop into like explain that this thing existed because Loop's like, no, there's a show and he owns the box.
Well,
set.
as I did more research on Max Headroom, there was like way more. That show was like really insignificant, like the one on ABC compared to like everything else that happened with Max Headroom. Because this actually the special, which is like a dramatic show or movie, actually like just basically led into his talk show, like his little like weird talk show that he had. That like
he had, it was called the Max Headroom Show, and it was like a movie, like a music show. Like he would show videos, like music videos.
Yeah, and I think eventually, as the seasons went on, he ended up like it was like he was live, like on a screen. Right. Interviewing celebrities or something. I haven't like it just seems like such a weird concept, but but we'll talk about more about Max as it goes, I guess. But the like from our perspective, he became a phenomenon pretty quickly. Like he kind of came and went kind of quickly, I guess, but he was just so because the world of computers were really starting to come in around that time, and so anything that kind of had a computer feel to it sort of was like it seemed so futuristic.
Yes.
And this seemed very cool, like because it was like this sort of AI guy that wasn't really AI, but who they could probably create in a second now. But back then it was like
we'd never seen anything like it before. I remember when the craze happened. Like I remember cutting a picture of Max Headroom out of a magazine and like taping it to my binder in grade 9. Like it was the front cover of my binder because I was obsessed with Max Headroom at the time. We'd never seen anything like it. He was super cool. Like he was this show that we're going to talk about, this one particular show, is referred to as the first cyberpunk TV series. Like this, it really was cyberpunk. Like it was kind of rock and roll, but in this cyber universe, and they used CG that was relatively new for TV. We'd never seen anything like it. It was huge. Plus, he was funny. Like he was just a really cool celebrity. Like he was funny.
He was a celebrity for a while there. Like he was a pitch person for Coke. He was in the States. He was like I actually watched a clip of him being interviewed on the David Letterman show.
Yes.
So it was like David Letterman, and he had a TV set beside him with Max Headroom on it, and interviewed him live. Like it was like so bizarre. Like,
and don't forget the Art of Noise's Paranoia.
Oh yeah, that was a great song. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Max Headroom starred in. Like he was everywhere. But just to give you some context, this made-for-TV movie came out in 1985. The last of his TV shows ended in 1988. So this was literally just 3 years.
Yeah.
Like he was popular for 3 years, and his TV show in the States was canceled mid-season of season 2 because people stopped watching. So his star like rose and then fell real quick. So literally in a 3-year span, but people still talk about him. People still know who he is. And he was just such a massive phenomenon. So that's why we thought we'll go back to the very beginning, the origins of Max Headroom, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, which is I find really interesting this movie because well, we'll talk about it as we go, but basically, here's what the description of it is, just to give some background. In the dystopian near future, a crusading TV reporter investigates news stories with help from a wisecracking computer version of himself, starring Matt Fuhrer as Max Headroom.
Yes.
So he played the reporter, and he played this version of himself, this computer version.
Yeah.
And basically the like Max Headroom was like, yeah, basically a talking head who was
Yeah.
like would make like sarcastic commentary and jokes about things that are kind of political or things going on
Yeah.
in pop culture. And he basically was Matt Fuhrer wearing like plastic clothes and a plastic
Yeah.
wig, but it had a computer look to it, so it looked
Yeah.
like the background was all 80s and moving around, and it was
Yeah.
really interesting. Like
So
the fact that someone like jumped on that and said like this is like they created it, and that it just kind of took off.
yeah.
Like because from this movie itself, I wouldn't have said this would have taken off from the movie.
No, I
Like
don't think so either. And not the way it did anyway, because the movie has a very different tone from the Max Headroom that we all know. Because
yeah, I
Max
read
Headroom
that
is
this
very
was
much,
made to basically introduce him
yeah,
and why he exists,
yeah.
essentially. So
But it's very dark. Like it is a very dark. Anyway, we'll get into it. But I want to preface this by saying I think for the first time in ever in any of our podcasts that we've talked about shows, because we talk about the hits and misses of
yeah.
a show. That's what we do. I have zero misses.
Oh,
I
really?
don't
I have
have
a couple.
I
I have
don't have
very few. Like,
I don't have any. I tried. I was looking. I was like, okay, I got to put something down here. I I don't have any. And
okay,
it's yeah, I know. I don't understand it either, but I just don't.
that's okay.
So
Well, we probably have a
yeah,
lot of the same hits and misses that on this
yeah,
one. It was very interesting. It was very interesting movie, and you can watch it on YouTube, by the way, if you look it
yes.
up. It's
Very good quality versions too.
Yeah,
Like
actually, it is. It's like Max
yeah,
Headroom, 20 minutes into the future is the name of it. It's only like an hour and something. Like, it's not very
yeah.
long.
It's not yeah, without commercials, it's 57 minutes. There is a version that's an hour and 3 minutes, and it has the original commercials that aired in 1985
Oh,
in
that's cool. Yeah, that's
right
wild.
along with it, which is kind of fun to watch too. But yeah, no, you can watch the whole thing. It's very good quality. Sounds good, looks good. So
Yeah.
definitely do that before. So yeah, you can do that. All right, let's jump in. What do you how do you want to start? Where do you want to go?
You can start with a hit.
All right, so one of the interesting things is because it was produced in England, in Great Britain, they had different standards when it came to what they could put on TV. Um, they were much more liberal with their language and everything. So this was literally a made-for-TV movie aired on Channel 4. There was swearing in it.
Yeah.
At one point, there was some nudity in there. Like there's some graphic violence. It did not, to me, look like a TV show. It looked like a movie. Like
Yeah.
it was very gritty and grimy and like because it's this dystopian world. So I was sucked into this whole thing because they could talk the way people talk and say things and do things the way people do. They weren't like censored the way they are in North America. They were in North America in 1985. So
Yeah.
excuse me, that was really refreshing. I thought so. That was a big hit for me.
Yeah, one of my hits was I like sort of at the beginning, like the sort of they did a lot of like POV style like video from the time like the in fact like I think there was a lot of things in this show. I mean, there are probably in other things at the time too, but there was sort of like some things that kind of mimic things that are going on now,
Yes.
which I'll talk a little bit about later. But but this whole opening is very like him shooting himself, not with a gun, like with like filming
Like a
himself,
camera.
with
Yes.
a camera and a lot of that sort of selfie style and a lot of media kind of people eating up media in different ways on television and things. And it was very cool. I like that whole sort of style, like at the beginning, especially, and it kind of carries through a lot of it, like
It does.
the very like media heavy sort of um like how it influences politics and influences people basically. What we see is what we think, like essentially is what they're kind of doing in this, whereas Max Headroom comes out and says kind of the opposite, like
Yes.
he makes the comments on it that is like um that he like that we're thinking, but he says them. So it's like
Yes.
that. I just thought it was. I like that. I like that the whole opening was very intriguing right off the top.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that whole opening sequence. It really like brought me into the story of
Yes.
what was Matt Fuhrer's character again? He's
His name is Edison Carter.
Yeah, Edison Carter, who's like a
Yeah,
big news guy,
he
and
was
he
like
shoots.
literally like he was like the number one news reporter in this world that they lived in. They never, I don't think they really ever say exactly where they are in the world,
Yeah, yeah,
because he's an American, obviously Matt Frewer, and has an American accent, and everybody else has British accents, so they don't really say where in the world they are. But yeah, he's
yeah.
supposed to be the number one reporter, like investigative reporter in this world.
Yeah,
So
it was,
he's,
it was an interesting opening. I enjoyed that sort of the tech
yes,
side of this show. Like I guess is a better way to say it.
yeah.
Especially like the '80s tech, and both of you and I having like you still work in TV, but I had as well, and I just like it interests me in that way. Like I just like that whole sort of techie sort of thing. Like I still, I'm in radio. We're half of radio or three-quarters of radio is doing videos
That's
and
right.
posts and like all that stuff and connecting with people and so it's almost like social media before there was social media. Like it
Yeah,
was
that's
very
true.
very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I had the exact same thing. Mine was it started building tension right away, like right off the hop with the music score, the visuals, like instantly you're like, what is happening? Oh my, like it does a really good job of drawing you in right away. Because if it hadn't, it could have lost us pretty quick. They only had 57 minutes to tell this whole story. So, but
Yep.
they did a great job of that. I also thought that everything about it I thought was really well conceived, from the writing to the acting. I thought the actors were top notch. Like it didn't, to me, the whole thing felt like a movie. Like it felt
Yep.
like it didn't, the acting felt very cinematic. Everything felt very cinematic in this world. They created, I don't know what their budget was, but it looked big.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know at the time, like relative to what it is now, but it looked like they had a huge budget to create a whole world. Because one of the other hits that I have is that they created a fully realized dystopian world, like like streets and buildings and office spaces and back rooms were fully realized. Like this was a real world. It was kind of reminded me of RoboCop. You know how RoboCop,
Yes.
this like dystopian Detroit kind of feel. This felt like that. Like it felt like a fully realized dystopian world that was
Yeah.
kind of scary to live in, but it was all super high tech and cyberpunk, and they did a really good job of making it immersive. It felt like you were in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my hits off of that, when you mentioned like what the budget was, like I could tell they didn't have like a great budget, like as far as like there was like not a lot of like massive like special effects in it.
Yeah.
Someone blew up at one point, which was quite
That was pretty cool.
entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I think they did, and I think they did it really well, which is one of my hits is the lighting in this
Oh,
like was incredible. Like whoever lit this, like it had the lighting was done in such a way it made probably cheap sets look good.
yeah.
And it had like it added like a sense of mystery to it. It added like a sense of like a sense of suspense.
Yep.
But the boardroom looked cool. Like it was lit in a way where everyone looked evil. Like every single
Yes.
person in that boardroom looked evil just because of the way it was lit. Like everyone was
Yeah.
half shadowed, and it was
Yeah.
just very cool. Like I thought they really thought it out. A lot of blue lighting, and maybe it's
Yep.
just the version I watched. Like because sometimes it gets like that if it's like a dubbed a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Because these are obviously are from the masters.
Yeah.
But these dubs, but it just when they're outside or whatever, it was always sort of a blue kind of hazy lighting, which kind of created a good mood. I enjoyed that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. It really, the whole thing felt cinematic to me. Like it felt like they were creating a movie. And yeah, and the lighting was phenomenal. And I thought the exact same thing all the way through it. I'm like, wow, like they're really punching up certain scenes with like green lights and
Yeah.
blue lights. And it was very clever. It was very
It was a
smartly
clever
done.
way to
I
make
liked that a
something
lot.
that wasn't probably big budget look big
Yeah,
budget, and it's just
that's right.
done with some lighting. So,
Yeah. And
they did a
it
great
made it,
job.
yeah. So I'll add on to that the use of CG, because this is 1985, so you didn't see a lot of CGI, but
Yeah.
they used a lot of. I mean, it's obviously like early 80s, like pixels and lines and sort of matrix stuff, but there was a lot of it, and it looked really cool. Like it really added to this world that had created this super high tech, advanced network of communication and finding people and like connecting to security cameras in other buildings, and
Yeah.
it was really well done. I don't know how much of it was CG and how much was animated, but it looked like old CG. Like it looked like CG. So I'm
Yeah.
sure that it was probably 80s CG, but it totally fit the whole vibe of this dystopian world, and it wasn't cheesy in any way. Like none of it was cheesy, and that it could have gone cheesy, but it
Yes.
didn't.
No.
Yeah, they
No.
they just pulled it off. I thought that was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So basically in it, this isn't a hit or miss, just a comment if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
They Matt Fuhr's character is like was he like almost killed or knocked out? And
Yeah. He's being chased. Are you talking about how he becomes Max
yeah,
Headroom?
yeah.
He's being, well, do we want to talk about that? Because that's, if you haven't seen it yet, that's kind of a spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
but I mean, if you're watching this, you probably maybe you've seen
Oh,
it.
okay.
We talk
All right.
about a
Well,
lot of stuff
yes,
that no one's seen. Like what?
this is true.
All of a sudden
Okay,
now we're really don't tell that plot point.
yeah, this 40-year-old
We've
thing.
spoiled millions of
Yeah,
shows.
this is
Suddenly
true.
this one was.
Yeah, this is true. But I feel very protective of this one. Anyway, yeah, he was being chased. He was on a motorcycle and he was being chased by the bad guys, and he ran into a barricade that was in a parking lot that had the words Max Headroom, like maximum headroom, Max
Yeah.
Headroom, and in brackets 2.3 m, so 2.3 meters. The maximum headroom is 2.3 meters, but the bar says Max Headroom 2.3 m. He runs headfirst into this thing, and that was the last thing that he saw before he was knocked out. So so that's how he becomes Max Headroom, because when he's digitized, his brain is digitized, he keeps saying Max Headroom, Max Headroom. So
Which I remember when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's how he got his name. Like I didn't
yeah,
know how he got his name. Like I just
yeah,
thought it was just they just made up a name for him. Like I
yeah.
didn't realize it was actually part of the story. And I'm like doing that thing where you're pointing, going, oh, like the realization that it's like, oh, Max Headroom, that makes total
Yeah,
100% sense. Like, okay,
exactly.
that's
It
fun.
was very clever. I thought that was
I thought that was actually quite clever, actually. Maybe
yeah,
because I didn't know, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he does. There's a reason why his name's Max Headroom. That makes
yes.
complete sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was good. Okay, so do you have a miss in there?
I do have a miss actually.
All right, let's hear it.
One of my misses is as much as I love the lighting in this movie,
Yeah.
some of the sound I thought was a little overdone. And my the part I thought was, if you go back and rewatch it again, is the footsteps.
Oh,
Because there's a scene where he's sneaking around a building, and
yeah.
every step is like you can tell they've added the steps in, like
Yes.
in a sound like a sound library or something. It's like click 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 click. It's like you're like, okay, we got it. He's walking. Like we can see him. I don't need to hear every footstep is loud. Like they're kind of echo, but it's like you can
Yes.
tell it's been added in. You can tell, but it was like, oh my god, like okay, we got the sound on that. Like because
Yeah.
there's a lot of sound stuff in this as well, but like that just seemed like a simple no-brainer. Like I don't think he even needed to put the sound in on that. Like, but it was just this scene drove me nuts because I could hear every like it was blatantly put in there. Like, and it was
Yeah.
very loud. And it was like no one's feet are that loud. I'm sorry,
No.
but
And he would have given himself away being that loud, stomping through the
yeah, that's the thing. He was
like
trying to sneak around, and it was like
yeah.
the loudest thing I've ever heard. Like it was pretty funny. But
Yeah.
the I just thought like it's like they could have backed off on that sound a little bit on that particular scene, like.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
very minor miss, but it was like something
It's
that,
a minor
that did distract me from that scene. Like
Yes.
I just noticed how like loud it was all of a sudden. I'm like, why
Yeah.
is this so loud?
Well, that's a miss. That qualifies as a miss for
Yeah, he's
sure.
wearing tap shoes or something. Like, well,
All right. I've really only got one more here.
okay,
But part of what was cool in watching this now is that it is very timely, because essentially the bad guy kind of who's creating Max Headroom is creating AI. Like he's talking about how he can digitally, replicate a human being with their thoughts and their voice and their movements, and nobody will know the difference. And
yeah,
that's exactly what's happening right now with AI.
yeah,
but this was 40 years ago. And, they were talking about, and, at one point they're sort of debating that. And they're like, no, we don't want this guy. Like, we want the real guy. We don't want a fake guy. We don't want this. And so it's sort of the same debate, but I was just watching it thinking, this has now come to life. Like, this
Yeah.
is actually true. Like, the whole concept of Max Headroom has become reality.
Yeah, because
And
they
I thought,
create Max Headroom to become to fool people to thinking he's a real news reporter.
yes.
Like,
Yeah, because
but
they want the actual guy, the Edison Carter, dead. They want him
yeah,
away, because he's uncovering some deep dark secrets. So, but they can't, because he's so well known, he can't just disappear. So yeah, they create the CG version so that people in the world will think, oh no, I mean, he's still fine. He's still going, and he's there. So yeah, it's such a strange thing to look at that 40 years ago and realize that it's now part of our world. This is
yeah.
what, it's like. So it was crazy. It was a little bit of a mind, messed up my brain a little bit.
A little bit a brain
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah.
The other thing in this is they're ahead of their time on. So they're ahead of their time on the sort of the AI, like copying people AI thing. But the other thing that part of the main plot is that they were sending advertising out to people called these things called blip verps or blip verts. Was that they're called?
Yeah, blip
Yeah,
verts.
blip verts, like an advert,
Yeah.
but it was, but to me, it kind of showed how like people consume content now
Yeah.
in fast little 10-second bits, like, or whatever, like as we scroll through like TikTok or reels or whatever we're doing. That's how we take in information now. And they were in this thing, these were like trend setting like bits of information that they were sending out in these blip verts. And but it's like that's what's happening,
Yeah.
like literally right now, like these
Yeah.
little fast little things, like even like if you watch a YouTube video, like those 3-second ads that sometimes appear before a YouTube video when you do it. So I thought they were ahead of their time on that too. I was like, that's social
Seriously.
media. Like that's essentially what they're throwing
Yeah.
out there.
The whole thing, now that I'm thinking about it, the whole thing is like a warning.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's like a warning of what could
Yeah.
happen. Like,
Because in the, like you mentioned these blip verts, what the blip verts are is they're trying to get 30-second commercial, all the content that fits in a 30-second commercial down to 3 seconds, and
yeah,
then they feed that in, so you're still getting 30 seconds of commercial, but you're only getting it in 3 seconds, and it's too much for the human brain to consume, and so it's killing people. Like, people are literally blowing up, but they actually explain why that happens. It's not just a goofy thing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, it's like it's
there's a legitimate explanation that makes sense,
yeah.
as to why people are blowing up. But essentially they're saying, if you consume material like this, it's not going to be good for you.
Yeah, which is like essentially like mental, like instead of blowing up physically, like, but
Yeah.
it's like basically mental health issues
Yeah.
and things that, like, and being obsessed with like how many likes you have and all that kind of
Yes.
stuff. Those are the kind of things that are like basically blowing your head up, right? Like
Yep.
because of all this. But not to get too deep into it, but I mean I'm on my phone all the time, so I shouldn't talk. But but it's interesting because that's what it kind of is. Like it
Yeah.
was to me, it's the first thing I thought of was like this is basically how we consume everything now, and it's so quickly. Like no one wants to see, like especially younger people don't, like a lot of them don't want to watch a full TV show or anything
30
anymore. Like
seconds is too long. Like, 30
yeah,
seconds is too long. But it's true, and we're finding that it's not necessarily healthy.
yeah,
People are, but that's exactly what this 20 seconds into the future, 20 minutes into the future movie was telling us.
yeah,
It's crazy. It's so accurate. It's the whole thing is so accurate to what happened in the future,
yeah.
that it's almost uncanny. But yeah, I mean, and so that's part of what made this fun to watch, is because we always just knew Max Headroom as this kind of fun, wisecracking, CG kind of robot-y kind of guy, but it's way more than that.
Yeah, that was my only other miss in this show, is that Max Headroom wasn't really in it a lot.
Not a lot, no.
Yeah, like he's in it, he's kind of created in it, and in the last, maybe like the last act, he sort of appears, but he doesn't really do anything, like, so to speak. So it's like that was my only other miss, was just sort of it felt incomplete at the
Yeah.
end a little bit, because I felt like he was he's introduced, but he doesn't really have a lot of impact in the storyline that's there. But it's like, I mean, he's very definitely like a second like level character in this. Like he's not really like doing anything to save the day or anything at this point. But that was my only other miss, was just that I felt the ending was a little bit like lackluster in that I felt like Max didn't really do a lot. Like after like the whole thing's based around in like basically introducing him, like he's introduced, but that's about it. Like he's like he's more like a passerby, like it's like you wave to on the street. Like you don't really get a lot out of what you meet up from him. But anyways, it was interesting.
And I guess just to wrap up my side of it, I guess I do potentially have one miss that you just made me think of this. They didn't explain why Max Headroom is witty. Like he's do you know what I mean? Because he's based on Edison Carter, who's this like super intense investigative reporter, and not witty. He's like he's an intense guy. But Max Headroom is supposed to be all of Edison Carter's brainwaves and thought processes, but he comes out as this like super slick, like witty, making cracking comments. He's kind of the opposite of what Edison Carter is. So they don't really explain that. Like he should be the same person.
Yeah,
so they don't explain why he's different, but you just go with it.
Yeah, he was like, "Yep, all right, that's good enough.
I'll follow that. Yeah, that's fine with me."
So I think like just to wrap up, I feel like this completely stands up. Like if you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you watch it. It's not long, especially if you remember Max Headroom and everything else. You don't need to watch. The series was more like kind of the ABC series was more of a continuation of this. His other stuff that he did after that was more interview style and more pushing of the sort of the pop culture character of him. But anyways, I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was like we were saying, it was kind of like holding up a mirror to society. It was like seeing things in the future that we haven't even gotten to yet, but it kind of like had hints of it. And it really reminded me of a Black Mirror episode.
Oh,
like
yeah.
This could have been a Black Mirror episode, like no doubt, and exactly as is, could have just ran as one, because it kind of is sort of like it's like the original Black Mirror episode.
Yes,
it's like this is like the 0.5 of the series of like if we go episode numbers, because it's essentially a Black Mirror episode, like just
totally
warning you of how technology can go wrong, essentially, and how we're misusing technology. So, but anyways, I loved it. I thought it was great. I'd never seen it before. And I'm actually curious to watch the ABC show again. Like I own it, but I haven't watched it in years, so I don't remember much about it.
No, I totally agree. I totally think it holds up. This is like the second or third time I've watched it, and I still really the pacing is really good. It's a really fun watch. But yeah, it totally feels like a Black Mirror. You're absolutely right. It feels modern. Like it feels like a modern telling of a warning of what's happening now. But yeah, it totally holds up. The just if you're interested, so this came out in 1985, then 1985 to 86, I think, was the British version of the show called the Max Headroom Show. You can watch those on YouTube. So those ones are there with him doing his music videos and interviewing people, that sort of thing. And then from 1987 to 88 was the North American version, the ABC version, just called Max Headroom. Those ones I don't think are streaming anywhere.
No, and I have the box set. You can buy it on Amazon if you're really that into Max Headroom.
You can buy them on YouTube as well. They are there, but you have to buy the episodes. But yeah, so I would highly recommend this. It's only an hour long and it's fantastic.
It's pretty cool. So speaking of future, we've got one more episode of this season. We never gone this deep into the year of a season. Usually it's done by like May and then we're off for the summer. So but because we missed so much in the first half of the year, we decided to do a few extras. But our next one's really interesting. We're going to be doing a Star Wars ranking, the old Star Wars ranker. The rancor monster, we like to call it. So this is going to be we're going to have Hank on again. I like to call him Hollywood Hank. He'll be on, and we're just gonna do our ranking of every Star Wars movie, including like the offshoot ones that aren't like that are part of the storyline, but not like the Skywalker. The Skywalker 9, as I like to call them.
Exactly.
But
so like the Solo and the Rogue One. Those
so basically two other ones. It was always the hard decision of like, do we include those or do we not? But I think we need to include all of them right across the board. So we're going to rank them all, and we all have our own sort of personal rankings, and it should be a lot of fun to see where everybody stands, because I know we're all going to have sort of, I think, close but wildly different in some cases as well. Yes. So I think it'll be quite fun. So that'll be our next episode after this one, and I'm super looking forward to it, because any chance you get to watch Star Wars again, you go for it.
Exactly. And if we have to watch all 11 movies, that's even better.
Yeah, I watched all 11. I'm set to go, man. I'm ready to go. So it's going to be good.
I've never even seen half of them, so I should probably
feel free to send us your rankings like on our socials. I'd love to see what other people think. But that's it for us. We'll be back in probably a few weeks, I guess, for our new episode. So I'm Luke.
And I'm Larry.
And this is Guardians of Geek.
Bye-bye.
Produced by Matthew C. Loop and Lawrence Simner. A Loop and Larry production.
Bueller.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
Bueller.
Bad news. Fog is getting thicker.
And Leon's getting larger.
Inconceivable.
Brian's right. It's an elf.
Wax on.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Wax off.